Hey, what's up, Lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the April 15th, 2015 sequel film, Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2. So this uh, premiered April 15th, 2015 in U.S. theaters. I actually saw it the week before. I think it was like a week or two before with a friend of mine at the time. My mom had, I don't know how she did this, but she had signed up for like some AMC and Regal program a while ago where she would get invited to like certain early screenings of things, test screenings of things, and like certain premieres of things. And then if you yourself couldn't go, you or your immediate family could go. Just had to like write the name of the person who's going to be coming, something like that. So at the time, me and this friend of mine would always go then to the city for these early screenings, for these pre-screenings, for these test screenings, as well as these like premiere things. We saw the fifth Die Hard premiere at like a Regal on 42nd Street. We saw the Paul Blart 2 premiere. So it was very entertaining going to these premieres in Manhattan. It was fun. Seeing all the stars, seeing the red carpet thrown out for everybody, seeing all the photographers, etc., like putting on the show. So this particular Paul Blart, we didn't know was the premiere. We just thought it was another early screening, like another test screening. You give them your phone, you fill out a questionnaire at the end, etc., right? So like not knowing that this was the premiere, we get there, we're dressed like slobs because again, thinking it's just an early like a screening, just to like a test screening, not the actual premiere of the film. So we get there and there's cops everywhere, it's guarded off, like there's a thing going on, and we're like, what the hell's going on? And one of the assistants like tells us, oh, they're doing like a giant Segway thing for Guinness, and we're like, excuse me, what? And they had arranged the largest uh culmination's the word, not the right word for it, gathering, there we go, of riders on Segways, the two-wheeled Segway scooter things that the mall cops, moral officers use through malls. Largest gathering of Segway riders ever recorded. And that's what this particular thing was that they were doing, this event that they were doing. So they had Kevin James leading the pack, if you will, in his Paul Blart outfit, going just, around the corner of whatever street we were on. And I thought it was so cool. It was very entertaining. It was very funny. Like, who would have expected it? So we go and we had to like wait in this section, and like they had to like filter in people to the theater for the premiere. So like all the producers were there, but the cast and crew were there, like everybody was there who worked on it, and then they were filtering us non-important folk into the very front of the theater. So those of us who didn't work on the theater, didn't work on the project, or those of us who were not related to somebody on the project, were ushered into like the first 5 rows of the theater. So me and my friends, we were in row 3 or something like that. So we were like staring up at the screen the entire time. Now, at one point, I wanted. They gave us free popcorn. It was a thing. It was cool. We had a little brochure thing. We took pictures. We got some like other pamphlet or something like that. We got like mall cop merch, just like promotional stuff. It was very entertaining at the time. I wanted to go to the bathroom before the movie started because it was an hour and a half. I can control my bladder. That's not the proper word for it. But I have a small bladder and it's frustrating because I drink water all the time. So I go to the bathroom. And as I'm going into the bathroom, Kevin James comes out of the bathroom. It was a very quick passing. And I didn't register it until I was standing at the urinal and I was like, was that Kevin James? Passed him in the bathroom. Didn't know. So I just found it funny seeing that. Then seeing the show, it was freaking the freak out because I love the song Rush by Somo, and they play it in a like a sweet party scene. Rainy Rodriguez and David Henry are in this, both Disney Channel alums, which is pretty cool. Seeing them working together, and so having them become friends in the project, and then hanging out with friends in the hotel room that they were at, with Rush playing in the background, I'm freaking out. I was like, oh my god, I love this song. It was very entertaining. It was very neat. My friend had no idea what the hell the song was, but I knew, and it was funny. And I verbally said, "Oh my god, I love this song." So, a lot of this film, watching it at the premiere, is more so. How do I explain this? Certain scenes are not that funny. Certain scenes are pause for laughter kind of a thing, but they're so like cringe, where if you're watching it by yourself, you're not going to laugh. But then when you watch it in a group, you're going to laugh. And when you're watching it in a group with people who worked on the project, they force the laughter. Like, ha ha ha. So, like, you then laugh because they're laughing, kind of a thing. So it's like laugh by association. So then I have not seen it since it came out 9 years ago. And I was like, okay, it was good. It wasn't great. Certain parts were funny. I did actually laugh out loud intentionally. Um, but then other things were very forced to laugh because everybody else was laughing. So you have to laugh because everybody who worked on the project is there for the project. So you have to laugh for them. I don't know how to just explain it. It's like a courtesy, if you will. But then 9 years later, here we are now. I have not seen it since then, and reminiscing now on the story. You know, Paul is the security guard at the same Orange County Mall or whatever the town is, whatever the county is that his mall is in, and then he is invited with Randy Rodriguez's daughter Maya to this security event that they're a conference that they're hosting in a specific hotel in Las Vegas. When they get there, Neil McDonald's character, who Neil has heterochromia, he uses it in the show. He uses it in the film. It's very entertaining, that particular scene. I did laugh out loud because that's an awesome genetic defect, genetic mutation that I'm absolutely obsessed with. It's very rare to have it. So it's cool that they gave his character play on that. Very cool to bring life to art, kind of a thing. So his particular character is a buyer and an art thief. So he's trying to steal all the art from Mr. Wynn's hotel and casino to then sell to another buyers. And then Paul, of course, infiltrates, and then all hell breaks loose. And Maya's, of course, kidnapped yet again with her new friend David Henry, who plays a valet at one point. David's younger brother Lorenzo Henry and Jared Sandler, who is Adam Sandler's nephew, are in this film as well, in that same party scene where Someone's Rush is playing. So it's more little fun facts, which I do enjoy seeing, like actors playing together, if that makes sense. Everybody gets to play in the sandbox, play in the same playground. It's fun. So certain parts worked very well as the sequel. Certain parts were still very cringe of the character, but I still like that Paul is still doing his thing. You know, he's still saving the area. He's still saving his daughter. It doesn't matter if he's in a mall or if he's in a hotel casino, which happens to also then technically have a mall. There's a whole Cirque du Soleil thing he was a part of it as well as a distraction. Things worked well, but then other parts were very cringe. So it's unfortunate that didn't have that full balance of comedy and action, because certain parts were forced and other parts were just fluff. And then other parts were actual story, and the ending of this was really good. So I'm curious, very curious, if we'll ever get a Paul Blart Mall Cop 3, because mall culture has changed drastically since 2009 when the first film came out. 6 years later, then we got the sequel, 2015's Paul Blart 2. Next year, technically, 4 short months from now, technically, if this is the end of December, beginning of January, when I'm recording and posting these, April 2015 is when the second film came out. April 2025 is just around the corner. That's 10 years ago. It's so wild to just think of time in that manner. It's so wild. So mall culture has definitely changed since 2009. Mall culture has definitely changed since 2015. A lot of dead malls. There's a lot of abandoned malls. Would Paul Blart's character be in an abandoned mall? Would Paul Blart's character be in a dead mall? I did look up at the mall, the first mall that they filmed in, Burlington Mall in Massachusetts, which is still thriving and it's still fine. There's not as many vacant stores compared to other dead malls. So it's definitely not a dead mall as far as like percentage goes. There's like maybe like 10 total stores that are just not vacant, not vacant, that are vacant. There you go. I think it would be very interesting to see him then in that same mall with the changes that have been there, because it's not technically dead. But on the flip side, I would also love to see him take charge of a dead mall. How does that work? Not that Burlington Mall, a different mall. How does that work? There's a lot of things you can do with that because mall culture is different now. So how does that work? I would love to see that. Or have him hired to then guard a completely abandoned mall. film at one of the abandoned malls all across the country. You know, I watch dead mall videos all the time. I watch abandoned mall videos all the time before bed. That's what puts me to sleep. That liminal space, the neon glow, the nostalgia of it all. It's a very interesting thing. I don't know what the psychology is to it. I don't need to know the psychology of it to it. What I do know is that cop, that Paul Blart mall cop, would be a very interesting storyline in regards to an abandoned, decayed mall. How would he react, loving malls so much, working in malls so much? How would he react in that setting? And then trying to get a bad guy out from trying to dig a floor up because there was buried treasure there the whole time. Something. I don't know. It's far-fetched. I'm aware. I think a Paul Blart 3 film would work in a dead mall. I also think Paul Blart 3 movie would work in an abandoned mall. I think it would work in an active mall, the same Burlington Mall. There's 3 different means of doing a Paul Blart 3 film. Active, dead, abandoned. One or the other. I think it would work. I think a story could be put together. I think Rainy Rodriguez would definitely be a nice, brought back. What is her character up to now? Possibilities are endless. Paul Blart, Mall Cop 2, interesting comedy film. Could have been funnier, a little less cringe. I did enjoy the action sequences. I did enjoy the character development. On to the next review. Mahalo.